3 Annex 3 below. The grand total on the 2024 budget proposal indicates 76 billion 124,191,97300. And then when you look at the page 8,
I'm sorry, sir. Can you come
page
again,
8.
sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please, can you come again?
Say again.
Come again, sir.
Can you hear me clearly? Thank you. Look at page 6, topic. This variation is indicated in the table 3. Annex 3 below. We have column 2024 budget proposal. The figure shows 76 billion. Can you see it? Then let's go to page 8. In your submission, you give us a sum of 73,961,162,59300. These figures there's clear discrepancies between the two figures. Can you check clearly? Of about 2,163. I believe your team should be able to look into it properly. It could be a mistake, it could be a add up, it might not be add up, or your responsibility falls to your table. So please, let's look into it critically so there won't be maybe or maybe not. Chairman, thank you.
As confrontational, I don't see it that way. I rather see somebody who is ready to partner with us, look at our errors, help us to sharpen it. And I'm indeed very grateful for this level of commitment. God bless you. Now, let me start with Oga Mengunu. Oga Senator, the reality is that there are many factors that affect this increase. Number one is the exchange rate of some of the things you'll be buying. Number two, I want to explain something here. As part of the drive of Mr. President in ensuring service delivery, accountability, and fast-tracking infrastructural development, the number of essays appointed appear high. For instance, let me give you this. And he selected very competent hands, from various sectors to join in his team. Apart from ministerial team, who has targets to meet, he now appointed SSAs to serve as watchdog to ensure compliance with his standing instructions. We have SAs now who are in charge of each zone in ensuring implementation of projects. Now, the management of this and the resultant cost of maintaining this is part of the reason why it appears the cost of our budget is high. Apart from the exchange rate, the number of SSs we have to handle and work with is high. But they are aimed at also ensuring service delivery in the entire nation. Now, the fuel cost is not also to be neglected because there are consequential costs of operations in the State House as a result of high cost of fueling. Not only that, the age of the vehicles also. Any new vehicle you buy, the next 5 years you may not do any serious, any major maintenance. But the reality is that everything we buy has a design lifespan. And once these lifespans are exceeded, the maintenance costs increase. In most advanced countries, the age of your vehicle is a function of the insurance you pay. So the same way it happens to us in Nigeria and the State House as a whole. And there are some steps we have taken in ensuring that we enforce quality service delivery and optimal operational efficiency of our vehicles. We now have a maintenance unit whereby our own staff are being trained to carry out the maintenance work. By the time you come, we'll take you to see the new workshop whereby our staffs who are trained are being made to carry out maintenance of these vehicles. Not only that, sir, we want to let you know that by the time the new vehicles we want to buy are purchased, the operational cost crashes, and it will help a great deal in ensuring our service delivery. The incidence of vehicular breakdown midway by VVIPs in this nation will be a thing of the past. Now, for the cost of the vehicles, I want to most respectfully state that there was a figure of 1.9 somewhere, there's a figure of 6.3 somewhere. They are incorporated. They are all aimed at purchasing these vehicles. And it's not the same brand of vehicles all through. For instance, we have executive buses that will be purchased for VIP movement, like, the last time we held some meetings, the seminar for all the first ladies, I remember, the seminars for the OAU summit, the ECOWAS summit. Many VIPs that comes, we can't be giving them cars one by one. The team that follow them are conveyed in buses. And their VIPs are also conveyed in cars. And there have been instances where even presidents are put together in a single bus. So we have different categories of vehicles, and they are not all of the same price or the same. No. Sir? I think they are treated vehicles and others. Yes, they are in that category, sir. Now, we now have the issue of furniture. Sir, the second issue you raised on the issue of furniture was actually for the office of the vice president, specific, which was about 3-point-something million. Because the office of the vice president, as a matter of fact, I had to personally monitor the changes of those furnitures there, because the table, it may surprise you to hear that all through the tenure of President Muhammadu Buhari, they inherited the furnitures and retained them. Okay, yes. In fact, the vehicle, President Ojuacho, inherited, was retained and used like that for 8 years. And possibly because of some other reasons that I may not be able to explain here, but these vehicles now are aged, and we need to replace them. These furnitures are aged, we need to replace them. And there is, I just felt I should say this. I know I'm on air. We must respect our president, and we must give them the best they need to have to work in a very, very conducive conditions. So.
Are classified,
yes, sir,
and are not meant for the public.
Thank you, sir.
We are protected by Legislative Immunities and Privileges Act.
Thank you, sir.
But then we don't want it to be in the public domain. So whenever we come to our side, we have close session with you.
Thank you,
then
sir.
you tell us this thing, and then we now find solutions to them.
Thank you,
Go
sir.
ahead.
And capital cannot but increase as a result of obvious reasons. The exchange rates of some of the things we need to buy, as well as the cost of operations, the high number of staff, and the level of staff increase. Now, you mentioned Ogadawara mentioned the issue of maintenance of vehicles. I'm glad to let you know, sir, that we have raised a team that are already being trained to carry out this maintenance. Yes, sir. Then, Oga Mohammed mentioned the issue of photocopiers too, and
it's actually the issue of 1.9 billion and then 6.3. Is it inclusive or there are two different figures?
Sir, the 3.3 I just mentioned that is specific.
1.9.
Yes.
And 6.3 billion.
For vehicles. Please, where do you?
If you look at appendix 1B,
Yes, sir. I'm coming, sir.
1 billion.
Okay. First one of 1.9 was for 2023. Yes. While the 6 point something is actually in 2024. And if you look at the one of 2024, we have not started. It has not even been approved. But the 2023, you notice that in the performance, we put 0. The reason for that is because I will try to answer the other question you raised on budget performance along with it, because it's the same reason. we have carried out at our procurement starting from July, if you recall, sir. And when we started in July, there are procedures for, we don't say because it's State House, you don't go through procurement process. We went through procurement process, and until the vehicles are supplied or you have executed the project, we can't pay. They have been awarded, some of them have been supplied now, and we're about to start paying. Until we pay, it means performance is still zero. But yes, it's not in my hand, it's in CBN. But, so, because the bottom-up system is now such that after execution, there will be certificate of completion, which we attach to the request for payment, and we forward to Accountant General for settlement. Until that is done, we cannot pay. And the budget performance is still rated as 0 until you have performed. You have not performed, if you understand my explanation. So there's another issue raised, sir. The figure you mentioned, 76.1, and the figure of 73. The reason for that fall is because personnel cost was withdrawn. So that's why you have 73. Because personnel cost is not accounted for from the State House. It is accounted for from Accountant General. But when we are doing budgeting, we add them together because it's still part of budget. So you have 76. I hope I answer your question, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'm indeed very grateful.
Happy about that. And we want you to continue to cooperate with us in this regard. Like what other members have said, our interest is to see you doing the right thing. And for Nigerians, they are always looking out to us, doing the work that we have been assigned to do, not minding where you are coming from. And that is why, from the earlier remark, that this committee is ready to oversight on any organization that is built under it. For that, we have invited you, and you are here, and we are also very happy over that. And we want to say that the health facilities you are putting there are not just for perhaps the president and the vice president. Other speakers have said it, that in Egypt, the facilities of Mr. President or Prime Minister are being attended by the public and any other person. And some of our members have enjoyed it. And so we want to see that serious improvement, very serious improvement, because you are aware, our chief executives and their ages are always on the bed rest and all of that. And so we want them to rest well while they are here, not taking them abroad. From what we have seen here, we don't want to query your travel expenditures. Some of the travel expenditures are as a result of their health situations. And so we want you to have that very seriously at the back of your mind. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Abel. Thank you most sincerely for honoring our invitation. As I earlier stated, other MDAs should emulate from you. The President himself came to the National Assembly and laid the appropriation bill before the hallowed chambers in the exercise of his powers. We are seated here scrutinizing what the President laid before us in also exercising our powers. So other MDAs should emulate from you. The office of the President is the #1 office in the land. We started this budget defense with you. So we want other MDAs to emulate the office of the President by coming to the National Assembly to defend their budget in line with the presidential directive and what the Constitution provided for. On this note, we will not ask you one question because it is also classified. when we come for oversight, you will tell us the nominal role of your staff and where they work. But that will be in an executive session when we go on oversight. We saw what happened in COP28, where people say Nigeria had the largest delegation of 1,411. So we don't want to be quoted for the wrong reason that there are 5,000 workers in the villa. So when we go there, we will now sit and discuss with you in a closed-door session to now see whether you are understaffed or you have the adequate number of staff. On this note, thank you very much for coming, and I wish you well. Is it the view of the Senate that...
I want to start by apologizing for the seeming mix-up of our response in your earlier letter. It was not intended to demean this very wonderful committee, sir. I responded in that manner because in the last Senate, that's the 9th Assembly, we were primarily restricted to the committee, Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs. And all this while we've been relating with them, even preparatory to the presentation of this budget. Last week, they asked us to submit copies of our 2023 budget defense and the 2024 proposal, which we compiled and sent to the committee. So, Your Excellency, when I got this invitation, I was thrown aback. I had to start scrambling for information from here and there. And exactly the letter came this morning, sir. The letter came this morning. It was dispatched, it was received in the SGF's office yesterday and forwarded to me this morning. So I quickly called the attention of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator Dr. George Akume, to brief him. He said, okay, I should come and tender his apologies and seek your permission to appear at a future date while we reconcile what we have submitted to the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs and Federal Character. So that is exactly why we're here today, and hopefully you will understand with us and bear with us, please, with due apologies, distinguished sir.
Pomsek, thank you for... But now you are opening it up, you are exposing me also. So what actually happened was we sent a letter of invitation to the office of the SGF for interactive session last week. So when we now send the letter, the PAMSEC wrote that the special duties unit of the office of the SGF was since transferred and made a full-fledged Ministry of Intergovernmental since 2013. As such, our letter has been referred to the Special Duties Ministry for further action. Unfortunately, the Special Duties Ministry is also an agency under the Special Duties Committee. So, by extension, why will you just saw your colleague from the State House? In the exercise of our powers under Order 96 sub 60 of the Senate Standing Rules 2023, we are to oversight the office of the President and Presidency, of which your office is also part of the Presidency or is the engine room of even the Presidency. So if you are reporting to federal character, certain department or agencies of government under the office of the SGF can report to that. I'm also aware that certain departments are also reporting to Ecology and Climate Change Committee. So the entire gamut of the agencies under the SGF is under Special Duties Committee. As such, we will grant you adjournment graciously, but not a very long adjournment, because we are on fire as we sit now. We're supposed to be enjoying our December break. But because of the passion we had for the country, the love we have for the country, we are here seated trying to defend budget. Your colleague was commended now from the State House, and we said other MDs should emulate the office of the President. So we don't want people to be seen. Next, after you, the National Assembly will come in. We are also oversighting ourselves. So we started with this deliberately to now showcase our zeal to oversight MDS manned by the leadership of the country. That is office of the President, SGF, the Senate President, before we even go down to ministries. So as such, we agreed there was a mix-up. We are going to give you a very short adjournment for you to go, put your house in order, get us documents, and come back before this distinguished body for us to make progress. If this is agreeable to my distinguished colleagues, we are going to give you time. Distinguished colleagues, the floor is yours, sir.
Purposes of addition going National Assembly House rules is a public document. I will encourage you to have the House rule for members of the House of Representatives and the Senate rules, which specifically defines each committee's legislative function and landscape. So that anybody who writes to you that is oversighting you, open your Senate rule and look at it. Is it the right person? Otherwise, we'll have a lot of this conflict, and we know it is not nice to speak ill of a colleague. But otherwise, they shouldn't have written to you, because the House rule now defines everything. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you very much.
Or you...
On Friday will be okay. Next tomorrow, sir.
Friday is a bad time. Either tomorrow evening.
Okay, tomorrow evening. That'll be.
Is it agreeable to colleagues?
Yes.
So we'll expect you tomorrow in the evening.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Are you coming? No. Coming 4, 5?
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Yes, sir.
This an appraisal and performance report of monies appropriated for the agencies in the year 2023, and also to defend the 2024 appropriation. Before us are management staff of the National Assembly, an agency under the special jurisdiction of the Special Duties Committee. We are now oversighting ourselves. One of the mandates of the Special Duty Committee is to oversight the office of the Senate President and then the National Assembly. Here are management staff before us for this exercise. However, before we start the meeting proper, may I kindly call on distinguished members to introduce themselves so that on the other side of the divide, management staff are also going to introduce themselves for us to acquaint ourselves or to know ourselves before the meeting. Let me start with the distinguished Senator Mustafa Habib.
Young Secretary, Finance and Account. I'm here with other members of the team. Unfortunately, the clerk to the National Assembly is unavoidably absent because he's attending a meeting with the leadership in the House of Representatives right now. And because he's not here, and we are here representing him, other members of the teams are from.
Now examine what you have done in the year 2023, whether you have performed optimally or you have not performed as expected, and what do you have for us in the year 2024? So whoever that is representing the clerk, go ahead and make your submission.
Thank you, the chairman and the distinguished senators. Yeah, the National Assembly budget begins after the presentation of the budget by the president, because it's from that envelope, from there they give us the envelope, we start our work from there. As a result of that, we've just started the work on the budget. And the procedures are, we have to meet with the Senate Services Committee and the House Services Committee. Until that is done, before we can gather the two, the Senate and the House, and then at the same time work on the management before we meet the leadership of the two houses. When that is done, we can now continue the project. So as a result of that, we will not be able to present the National Assembly budget right now. And therefore, we'll ask for permission to get this other aspect done before we can come further for the presentation. Thank you, sir.
Secretary, thank you very much for the explanation. And tell members of the committee so that we can take a holistic decision. Was that what happened yesterday? Yes, aha. Now, distinguished colleagues, the explanation is the budget of the National Assembly is between the House of Reps and the Senate. So the leadership of both houses must meet with Senate services and this committee by extension before they could now present the appropriation of what goes to the National Assembly. So based on this, they are asking for an adjournment to enable the leadership to meet, and then the clerk will now come by himself to present the budget of the National Assembly. So based on this, I think the floor is open for comments, observations, then we now take a decision and give them time, if the committee so wishes.
Coming from the Secretary of the National Assembly, there is always a tradition. You don't discuss budget hanging. You don't build a house without a foundation. You just spoken about 2024 budget. What about 2023 budget performance? That is the first thing that we do. The last two bodies that were here actually spoke about their performances. So when you said, yes, I agree with you, you need to have a meeting with the Senate services, House services, management, but what about the 2023 budget? In view of what you and I witnessed in the last 6 months since we came here, we need to evaluate monies that were spent on what and how. In view of so many things that you see around the National Assembly, I wouldn't want to go into detail of telling you the nice thing and the negative things. We need the budget performance first as a foundation for 2024.
Thank you.
You respond to just
after they were drafted, were printed by you, and you know the contents. And it's strange that we will have to sit in the public and say, this is supposed to be this, this is supposed to be this. You know what it is. And is your budget off-cycle? Are you operating an off-cycle budget? And if you are not operating an off-cycle budget, your budget is supposed to have been ready no matter what, so that it can be discussed along with the other budget, so that it can be passed at the same time. So the issue of saying that, okay, you need to go for meetings before, that means that the deadline that was given to us cannot be met because of what you have just said.
We have not prepared the budget. The budget is still in progress, and we cannot bring the budget of the National Assembly when we have not met the leadership for them to look at what we have done and give approval. That is why we are asking for this time, so that we'll sort out those areas with the Senate services and House services and the leadership of the National Assembly. So once that is done, as we ask for the time, we will.
Sorry to interject in this manner. Secretary,
Sir?
have you not been a member of the...
Because even the 2023 budget, the performance from January till date, we also have to present it to the leadership for them to see and actually approve.
just received notification yesterday. That is so beautiful. Some of us have been here since 1999. We know how this will go. This is December. Okay?
So not that it doesn't have performance, but we have not, after presentation to the leadership, they have to also give the clearance, because we cannot just pick up the budget and then present or
The
bring it to the
leadership, we made this leadership from the moon. We created them. Don't try to give them some semblance as if they are invisible. They are not. They are our colleagues. Please.
Thank you, sir.
This one is, yeah, boss.
Well, we leave the work. We are all voted to work because you cannot tell us there is no performance. This is something that you can click your system and get it download it, and give it to us. We don't care whether there's approval or no approval. We don't care. We are working for Nigeria. We are working for the National Assembly, and they put us here. That's the truth. It's as good. It's better you didn't show up than to go and tell us this. It's better you didn't show up. Yes, because, okay, do you expect us to call other people and ask them a question on the budget?
Thank you. Secretary and other members of the management team. I will agree with you on one thing. That is the fact that the budget performance as well as the 2024 appropriation that will be defended is going to be presented and or defended by the CNA and his other clerks. That would be accepted. But for us to now say that the leadership did not approve, I think it's a flimsy excuse. Be that as it may, we are all partners in progress, and this institution belongs to all of us. Go back, meet the CNA and other management team of the National Assembly. We are going to graciously extend time for you. The Senate President gave us marching orders to present the appropriation bill on or before 12th of December. As such, convey our message that this committee has graciously extended time for the National Assembly to appear before the committee with the 2023 performance as well as the 2024 proposal for defense before the week runs out, so that we can make progress. We have taken State House, we have taken other places. National Assembly is our own institution, and we are very keen to see the budget of the National Assembly defended. So we are graciously extending a very short adjournment to you. We are giving you the latitude of time from now to Friday to report back, so that we can take you magnanimously, so that with magnanimity we'll use this, so that we also reflect that the National Assembly has done the needful. Proudly. So this is what we are going to say at this time. So with this development, I think we can allow you go, try to walk around the clock and come back before the week runs out. You liaise with the clerk so that we can, we are very much available. We are taking other agencies. So we'll take you within the week and then move forward or make progress. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.